St John's is based on a philosophy where we try and bring the world into our school as much as possible. We don't want a school where kids come in to be fixed, almost like a hospital, where it's clinical. We want to see our school as representing the outside world, where children are able to explore, discover, create, and have explicit learning at the same time. And we're continuing to write that philosophy together. We know there's a challenge in schools about keeping kids in the system, and we don't want it to be about keeping kids here. We want to give kids the adrenaline rush that they want to come back and that they stay learning as long as possible and see themselves as a learner for life, not just as at school. We talk to families often about the learning that exists outside the school and the learning that exists inside our walls, and we're really trying hard to connect that learning. We set up spaces here at St John's to allow a deeper level of exploration and discovery and innovation. In our junior years, we call this discovery time each morning. Our diversity, we're rich with diversity of cultures and religions. When we're learning about our Catholic faith, we connect to other faiths, and often that's through finding out, asking questions, asking children, where's your place of worship? What types of celebrations do you have? Who is your God that you talk about? And we connect it to our own faith. We know that's the world we live in. We often say to kids, you don't come to school to get ready for the world. You don't come to school to be fixed. You don't come to school so that we can prepare you for the world. You're already living in it. So how do we immerse or engage children straight away in the world instead of getting ready for it? There is not a lack of explicit teaching from prep to 6. It's different parts of the day that you'll see that. But I guess if we were to explain discovery, create, innovate philosophy, it's about bringing the world to us and us being the world, where we label for kids, this is numeracy. So when I'm at the shop and I'm counting back your change, this is numeracy. It's not only when we sit with a teacher and work with counters or have addition, subtraction, sums. It's about, that's where we learn the explicit skill, and then we transfer that to a place that would exist in the world. In discovery, children that start here at St John's in our junior grades, they come from a place like kinder or at home where they've had lots of experiences to trial, to test things out. And what we realise is from that time, over the Christmas holidays they start here at St John's, nothing's happened, yet our education system happened to them. So they would start school and it would be completely different to the learning processes they already have, that they've already built. They go over to the collage table and they test the scissors and they check if the glue would work better than the sticky tape. And teachers see themselves as influencers, where they're spending time with children to say, what did you try? Why didn't it work? What could we do differently next time? All that learning, sitting at a table and chair, would not exist to the depth that we have it existing here in discovery time. Into discovery, often they have one little project and start another project, and that's developmentally appropriate. Teachers as influencers then start to build some blocks within that. As they're progressing, we start to have more of an influence or more of an enabling. We might enable the children by giving them a different resource to use. Over at the tinkering table, they start off with real hammers, real nails, timber, and often we get asked, don't the children hurt themselves? And we say, yes, sometimes they do. Sometimes they hit their finger with the hammer, and we talk to them about what would you do differently next time. We make sure that the teacher as the enabler is working with the kids about, don't repeat that. Now that we know that that happened, how could we prevent that next time? What would you think next time differently? How would you work with the person next to you differently? It's all about learning and not taking that away from them. We have to have mistakes. We have to have times where we're questioning what would we do differently and not just do the same thing over and over again. That's not how a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old learns. They learn from trialling.